Hey sailors, welcome to the crew. I'm Sailor Janda, and this is my Let's Play of Wargame Red Dragon. We have just finished up the Busan Pocket campaign, the first, not NATO exactly, but Blue 4 campaign as South Korea and the United States. And we're now going to start the second campaign out of the 5, and the earliest set one, Bear vs. Dragon, 1979. In which we take the role of China with assistance from North Korea against, actually, not US allied forces, but against the Soviet Union. So you'll see the background in a second here. As the war between China and Vietnam escalates to a new level, the USSR starts massing troops at the Chinese border with the obvious intent to stab China in the back. Can China really wait to be crushed by the hammer and sickle? Or should the dragon fight the bear while the bear's preparations are still incomplete?
November 3rd, 1978. Vietnam and the USSR signed a mutual defense treaty aimed at containing China's influence. December 25th, 1978. 2 months later, with Soviet support, Vietnam launches a full-scale invasion of Cambodia, China's ally. January 1st, 1979. Deng Xiaoping meets Jimmy Carter, seeking American support against Vietnam. February 15th, 1979. China terminates its 30-year-old Treaty of Friendship, Alliance, and Mutual Assistance with the USSR. February 17th, 1979. China invades Vietnam and warns the USSR not to interfere. February 1979. Nonetheless, the USSR sends warships and naval troops to Vietnamese waters and calls in mechanized troops to the Sino-Soviet border. Late February 1979. With its offensive bogged down in Vietnam, China realizes it can't afford to let the USSR get the upper hand and stab it in the back. March 2nd, 1979. Taking advantage of the absence of a main naval squadron and the incomplete buildup of Soviet forces, the PLA launches a surprise attack. Their objective: seizing and destroying the main Soviet supply base at Vladivostok.
Comrade Major. Why do they always call us a major? Is that a much more significant rank in French? I really don't think it is. Our informers are adamant the USSR is planning to attack us in a few weeks. Politburo has therefore decided to launch a surprise offensive and capture strategic Soviet ports. You will thus attack the Soviet units as soon as possible, and you will capture Vladivostok before the enemy can react. This will enable our North Korean allies to lend us a hand. Then you will continue eastwards to secure Kavalerovo without losing Vladivostok. The whole operation will have to be carried out in less than 18 days. And I've checked, in order to get the best victory, it's actually less than 14 days, so by the end of day 13. I strongly advise you to capture the nearest enemy airfields, land your aircraft there, and neutralize the enemy's air superiorities. That's Dongning and Usarisk. Major Zhao Yan, would you care to add anything to this? Thank you, General. Major, I want to remind you the spirit of your offensive is an armored regiment that will have to be reorganized after a long trip. You'll thus have to make the decision to attack immediately with your infantry battalions or attack the next day with the support of your tanks. This is an important decision. Take time to make it properly. So here's the situation. We have our 4 safe starting provinces. The blue stripes mean the enemy can't enter them. I can't enter Luchagorsk or Naval Sector Echo over there. Our only starting forces on the map are these 3 units, plus these over in North Korea here. And there's actual naval combat in this campaign. It's a little not super great in this game, but the campaign naval combat is kind of interesting. It's less good in custom battles. We're pretty grossly outnumbered, even by their starting forces, but could be worse. There's not actually that many troops on the map, period, at the moment. They have a couple of infantry regiments. Not much else. So what do we start with? We start with 5th Infantry Battalion, which is a pretty basic infantry unit consisting of 1 command vehicle, 24 units of these pretty basic UBE infantry, which have, I assume the Type 56 is just a knockoff RPG. I don't know that much about Chinese equipment. It's not even an RPG, it's just a... They have multiple things called the Type 56, maybe. Or else the game's just wrong about it. Anyway, they have a knockoff AK-47 and probably a knockoff RPG. And then we have the ZBD-86, which does not exist, should not exist. This is supposed to be set in 79, definitely shouldn't exist yet, but it's a knockoff of the BMP-1, yeah. To be fair, the Soviet Union has BMP-1s already, but not only does China not have their knockoff yet, but apparently this Sino-Soviet-Vietnamese war that's supposed to be happening right now is the reason why they ended up developing it in the first place. So that's very out of timeline, but that's okay. We desperately need them in order to have a chance in this war, I think. But these have a 73mm cannon, which is actually pretty decent for an infantry vehicle, and guided EAT missiles, which can potentially knock out tanks quite easily, let alone other APCs. And we have 4 82mm mortars with them. We have a close recon company, which has literally just some recon vehicles and some recon infantry. And we have 2nd Tank Regiment, which has a bunch of command APCs, cargo trucks, 2 of these anti-aircraft vehicles, which are the only AA we have, and 40 ZTZ-59-1 tanks, 100mm guns. They're pretty cheap, bad tanks, but hey, they're tanks. And what is this a knockoff of? T-54. Checks out. Okay. Then at sea, we have 1 Chinese naval attack squadron, which has 4 Luda-class corvettes, 8 Mosquite-class torpedo boats, and 1 supply ship. All of Red Force shares the same naval roster, so it's very limited in that regard. We have the North Koreans on our side as well. 13th Marine Regiment here has 1 command vehicle, 32 units of Marines with Korshuns, which appear to also be a BMP knockoff. And they have their own naval force, which has... This is like a landing type force. They have a couple of command vehicles that are amphibious, Marines with landing craft, 8 tanks with landing craft, the basic ones. What is the Chonmaho knockoff of? The T-55? Oh, it's indigenous. No, but it's a knockoff of the T-62 nonetheless, but... Yeah, it's a knockoff of T-62. Hell, that's better than our knockoff of the T-54, right? And then they have 2 of these, are these technically frigates or corvettes, whatever. Frigates, according to the game. I'm not sure if that really is true. But, 2 Nanjings, and then 4 of these and 4 of these, which are strictly, This is actually, well, this is rocket artillery. Yeah, these are basically ground support and a supply thing. Plus, they have our only air force, which is 8 A5s. What did we determine those were? Like MiG-17s or something? Anyway, they have anti-ship missiles, plus some short-range air-to-air stuff. So it's not exactly a big force we have to start with here, is what it ultimately comes down to. They have definitely more. Right on the border, they have this border regiment with primarily infantry. The key thing is their APCs are a lot worse than ours. No main gun or missiles. So, although these guys have missiles, but if we catch them in their vehicles, then they can be overrun pretty easily. But in a city fight, we would lose. And they have support of this anti-tank company, which has quite a lot of missiles, so... It's not even that clear that our attack force is that superior to the immediate border force, honestly. Then over here, they have another border regiment with motostrelki. Okay, nothing that worrying. Tank battalion with T-34s. Okay, those are straight trash. Anti-tank battalion with Su-122s. Those are... I mean, well, actually, honestly, 7 AP power. That's barely technically enough. They do like 1 damage to the front armor of a CTC-59, so it's barely technically enough to damage them, practically speaking. At close range it'd be better, but still. And these are not that threatening, just between them. I mean, for being tank destroyers, these are... I wonder if they're even actually count as tank destroyers, or if they're just self-propelled artillery, really. But they act as tank destroyers. Anyway, they have less penetrating capability than the T-34s, so... over here we have a tank company with T-62s. Those are a bit nicer. Still not anything too special. Only 12 of them. Also some more Malyutkas. Rifle battalion with more motostrelki. And some AA. A lot of AA, actually. Light AA, but still. In Vladivostok itself, there's a naval infantry regiment. And these guys have BMPs, which are much more dangerous. And better infantry too. The motostrelki are 10-point infantry. These are 20-point infantry here. Well, maybe that's no, I don't think it is because of the BMPs. I think that's additive, so it's 40. Yeah. Plus Factoria, but they had some of those there. Recon, okay. They have an anti-air company with infantry-based anti-air, Strelas. And a bunch of the Bryusas, which is the really expensive version of their 23mm AA guns. And exactly one 9K-37 Duke actual surface-to-air missile launcher. One, but one is enough to be dangerous. And they have 12 203mm howitzers and 8 82mm mortars. It's not that it's exactly crack Soviet forces on the border here. Oh, they also have huge air superiority. Here's 4 MiG-25s, air-to-air. Here's 8 MiG-21s with heat cluster bombs. Here's 6 MiG-23s, air-to-air. And here's 4 MiG-29s with air-to-air and anti-ship capabilities. However, we do have reinforcements available. Pretty decent number of them, actually. We can call in naval reinforcements, both Chinese and North Korean. First Naval Attack Squadron, flotilla made up of several Luda frigates and fast Mosquito corvettes. This is basically what do we have currently? 4 and 8. This is actually literally bigger than our starting fleet, but it's basically just more ships. And then the East Sea Fleet has a bunch more North Korean ships as well. It's actually more ships. I don't know if they're better ships necessarily, though. But we can call in up to 2 reinforcement fleets. This has a bunch of Najins, Shanghais, Chongjus. These are very ineffective for ship-to-ship combat, both, I think, so this is more of a bombardment sort of fleet. These Ludas and Mosquitoes can be much better for ship-to-ship combat. Land force-wise, we have the Long Wang Attack Force, the People's Army Reserve, and the Korean Marine Corps. 3rd Infantry Regiment, equipped with mortars and recoilless cannons. It's got good logistics train. It's got a bunch of Jiangxi with ZBD-86s. Oh, and these guys have machine guns, so they're better than our basic starting infantry. And Tonkashashi, which have better, they really marginally better anti-tank abilities, you know? Longer range, but less AP power, so... And some mortars. We have 6th Artillery Company, which has a couple of FOBs and a lot of 122mm howitzers, 152mm, 82mm mortars as well. 10th Anti-Air Company, which has 57mm and 37mm AAA. Wow, that's terrible accuracy. These are okay against helicopters. They're not so good against actual air. Air Recon Company with 4 Mi-1s. Those are nice. 11th Anti-Tank Company with BRDMs. Now, these are useful. These aren't. These sort of tank destroyer things are pretty trash. And then the People's Army Reserve has 4th Infantry Battalion with more UAE with ZBD-86s. An attack helicopter battalion, which has 4 SA-342 HOTS with air-to-ground heat-seeking missiles. Semi-active, actually. These are power to punch through any tank that I've seen, though. And 4 Z5As which have unguided rockets. And 19th Tank Regiment. This is our reserve armor, it appears. They have logistics, they have a little bit of anti-air, and they have 40 more ZTC-59-1s. So, a lot of reinforcements available. Way more than what we actually have on the ground already. And then we have the Korean Marines Regiment, which has more Geogokdae and Korshuns, more landing ships and some tanks, more Najins and Shanghais. Okay. And then the Air Force PLA 1st Fighter Division, 7th Fighter Squadron has, is apparently terrible based on the description. We have 12 J711s, which have 2 short-range missiles. Yeah, these are going to be pretty trash for anti-air, air-to-air purposes. These are really all we've got. 8th Attack Squadron, which has 4 Q-51s with also short-range air-to-air, to be fair, but they're not any better than these. They're much more expensive. And 4 450-kilo heat cluster bombs. Those are pretty decent, mainly against APCs, but okay against any tanks. And 9th Multi-Role Squadron, 6 J5s with napalm. Well, okay against infantry. North Koreans provide 17th Attack Squadron, which has 6 MiG-21s with air-to-ground missiles. Proper semi-active missiles. Those could kill almost any tank, although they're not super accurate. And 18th Fighter Squadron, which has 8 F-7Bs, also short-range missiles, although 40% accuracy? I think that's better. Yeah. More accurate. And 10% ECM, 500 turn radius. Yeah. These are slightly better air superiority units than the Chinese ones, but not exactly great. There's certainly none of those are going to stand up against MiG-25s effectively, which is why we have to take the air bases as quickly as possible. Right, so what do we want to do on turn 1? We're going to attack. We don't strictly have to attack on turn 1 to make it by turn 18, but we want to make it by turn 13, so... okay, noted. I didn't actually know fleets could only refit in certain sectors. We're going to attack the naval sector too, with the support of these, which will help. And we're going to Embark the Marines. Yes. Thank you, person. We're not going to send them into battle, though. Oh, interesting. We can't fight this turn anyway. We don't have enough initiative. I did figure out how this system works, right? Units that have 3 initiative can both attack, or can both move and fight in one turn. Effectively, it takes 2 to move, and one to fight. So things like this tank battalion of ours can't both attack and move in one turn. Now, reinforcements. Do I know what I want to call in right now? I'm going to call in more infantry right away. We just don't have enough ground. Like, we're going to have to split our forces to cover, like, multiple angles, probably. So I think maybe we need this right away. This is a unit that's actually capable of operating independently, so... Or we could get, like, naval reinforcements, but I'm hoping we won't need them. Or we could get, well, we could get both air and land reinforcements, technically. I'm going to call in the 3rd Infantry Regiment, because I think we need them. Get them moving towards the front as quickly as possible. And... if I deployed an Air Force in Boli, it could assist in this fight right now. That would be nice, probably. Something like this could assist immediately. Okay, let's bring those in. Okay, so that's the plan then. I don't know if it's genius or not. Alright, so first battle of the campaign, right on the border. We have the 5th Infantry Battalion and Close Recon Company plus 8th Attack Squadron actually engaging. They have the 1st Border Regiment and 2nd Anti-Tank Company. We have slightly better morale. We actually have way less forces, properly speaking. They outnumber us well over 2 to 1 in infantry. We're going to have to take advantage of the fact that we have actual infantry fighting vehicles with missiles and guns, and they have APCs with just machine guns. They don't have much other than that, to be fair, so if we keep it out in the open and move fast, that might work in our favor. They do also have these, which, let's see, 2450, 40% accuracy. These are technically slightly worse than our ZBDs, but not much worse. Marginally worse, only. And we can't afford to be exchanging mass missile salvos, really, so... We also only have 1 command vehicle. We're pretty much gonna have to move fast, I think. They don't have much any capacity to, like, ambush us in any meaningful way or anything. Is that cover? Can I take anything in there? So we're gonna get some air. We're gonna get some recon. Probably one there and the only bridge, but I don't know that we can't cross anywhere else. Maybe here. One here. Or I guess we can go around that way, right? Are you amphibious anyway? Like officially? No. I don't know where the enemy are gonna appear anyway. Let's just stick with 1 for now. I don't have any other logistics. I do have mortars. I could deploy them. I guess I will, just in case. proper swarm of infantry out. And, yeah, I mean, I have, like, almost all our forces deployed on the map. We are going to pretty much move out quickly and hope that we can shatter whatever enemy force we run into. They have 3 sectors held, and I cannot hold more than 1, but as long as we don't get trapped in an ambush by Malyotkas, it'll be okay. Oops, pull off the road. What is that? It's a bunch of Malyotkas. Well, what did I just say about them having no aid? Let's just bomb the hell out of them. No, we've lost sight of all of them. That's bad. Hey, everybody just circle around a second. Okay, start shooting. Oh. Okay, never mind, I don't need points. You can all go home. So the range was so incredibly close there that we just destroyed them all with 73mm gunfire without anybody on either side even firing a missile. So let's carry on. That was shattering. Did they just lose like at least 8 Malyotkas there? Or 12 even? That's like most of them. We can be much less worried about an ambush by those now. Where am I going? Unclear. I don't know if I even want to. I have 0 reinforcement points that's coming in. I just realized. Not that it really matters because I can't call much of anything else in anyway. I could get infantry reinforcements, but that's about it. Have some pull up there just to make sure we don't lose the command unit. But other than that, what we see is what we get, I guess. Now, I don't love the idea of directly assaulting these areas, but it's pretty clear that we need to be aggressive here, right? We have the missiles, we have the guns. We can't really afford to get bogged down in a city fight, but we have much better vehicles than them, and we need to just make them suffer for that. Oh, way out of mortar range? Yes. I don't really know that I dare move them up any further. We do get bogged down in a city fight, maybe, but otherwise I'd rather not. Guys, use the damn road. Yeah, everybody onto the road. Come on. There you go. Love how they all crash into each other like it. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. The recon car was in the same forest as my recon car. Awkward. Thank you, CBDs. I'm pretty sure I saw some actual infantry up there, but yeah. Well, take them out. So far, you know, it's not even the missiles making a difference, just the fact that we have cannons and they don't. kind of huge. Actual infantry, engage. I think we got him. Although we did lose at least 2. How many ZBDs did we lose? 2 total? Well, that's not 0. It's more than I'd like. Oh well. Oh, what's that? I think that's just a recon card. And it died. Okay, what's that? This might just be more infantry. I'm gonna push on into this sector. Everybody load back up, you know, actually. Actually, you that don't have anybody. Go on. Load back up. Load back up. Okay. Is everybody loaded up yet? Mostly. Oh, they're on the run finally. Yeah, see, getting bogged down in a fight for a city is very bad. They have RPGs, and those can easily take out. Not good. Oh boy. I don't think these will do anything, really. I'm gonna try it out. Maybe I should bring the mortars forward. But I fear they'll just... I'm gonna risk trying, but I fear they'll just... And you drop it. I tried to call them off because I realized it would actually be good to capture them, but whatever. Well, that got messy. I mean, we won, but we lost a lot of CPPs.
各单位待命，警戒周边区域。
Not exactly easily replaceable.
报告，我们受到攻击。
I haven't even seen us fire our missiles yet, at all.
然而，河部待无高。我们已经完成战斗准备，随时可以出发。
Okay. We only need 13 more points to officially
准备就绪。
win. Where do we reckon the,
我们是人民的先锋。
Where do we reckon the enemy
战况
command
紧急，
vehicle
急
at?
速前进。通讯良好，维持战备状态。
That'll do. It's only a minor victory. Oh, it's a total victory. What? Oh, we lost less than I realized, I guess. We do lose 6 CBDs, although... Oh, did they respawn? I thought... No, it's weird, because we didn't lose any UBE, but we started with 24, right? So we lose like a quarter of our infantry despite winning. And we lost a recon vehicle. But, apparently it doesn't count it correctly when you just lose the vehicle. I don't know. But we wiped out a large chunk of their infantry, plus most of their Malyutkas, plus a lot of their recon. I mean, 665 points to 115 is pretty good. And, I mean, total victory, so we take the sector. They withdraw to Dongning. So we hold that now. Okay. Now, the problem is they've fallen back onto... Actually, the defenses up there are pretty weak. These things are probably better in a gunfight than our ZBDs, but not in a... not in a missile fight. These are just BTRs. They suck, same as the ones we were just killing. They're a little better, but it's just a more modern version. To the east isn't anything special either. Vladivostok has the heavy defenses, which is why we want the North Koreans to deal with that. But we have to end turn. Thanks for watching, sailors. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like or subscribing. New parts will be up every other day for the most part. Or you can watch live on Twitch once a week. Have a nice day, sailors. This is Sea Lord Jenda, signing off.